G'day guys, I'm going to do another video to do with, again, a lot of proteins, fats, glucose, starches, so your sugars and your carbs, and your veggies and all that, and your salads, and how that sort of works in a little bit better. Just to make it a little bit more scientific, I'll keep making more videos to get a little bit more deeper and deeper. So if you've gone back in my logs and watched it and kind of understand how it works and plays the role in the body, I'll keep adding more and more things and go a bit deeper each time, which is important, because to do it right is key, because everyone seems to be losing touch with reality, and instead of just being in life, they're so consumed with being a certain other way that has nothing to do with who they are, and you always have these thoughts in your head of, I don't want to do this, but I should do it because everyone's this way or that way, or whatever reason is, and you know what it is. So making sure, first and foremost, the brain needs some type of a glucose, so insulin can come out, or a starch, so insulin can come out in the body and actually help to uptake nutrients better. But instead of always using a sugar or a carb, you can actually use high amounts of fat, because fats are extremely good for helping to uptake nutrients as well. When fats go in, insulin as well does come out in the body. People just don't realize. So people keep thinking, oh, I better have glucose and sugars if I want to unite insulin. And people I work with, bodybuilders, whatnot, they keep thinking that. Not all the time, not every meal. You can rotate meals in between that. So a lot of people with nutrition, I'll get them having, say they have 5 meals of the day, or maybe 6. Every meal in between, they actually won't have any type of a carb or a sugar, because it'll still be there from the other meal. So meaning, because what happens when you put in carbs and sugars, it actually increases the thyroid function, and everything else you eat in between is actually going to get uptaken a hell of a lot better, because your motor of your engine, of your body, is just running better. So I'll tend to use then, I'll go, right, so that meal at the start there will have protein, fats, maybe might have a bit of glucose or a starch in there, and yeah, some veggies and some salad, something like that. Second meal, it won't have any like carbs or sugars. But then the third meal will go back to that first one. So sort of see what I'm saying there? Which is important. Now, always important to mix things up. From everyone that I go and get them to get lots of different blood tests, because I need to see what's going on in their body. I have to. It's the only way for me to give the best of everything. So I see a lot of the time people's HDLs and LDLs, so bad cholesterols, bad fats, you want them low. And the LDLs, the good fats, you want them high. A lot of people seem to have, these are too high, these are too low. I got mine done the other day, and my HDLs are actually too low. So actually I need to have more bad fats. Well, I've got to put some in, because I don't have any. And so there is that balance of being too healthy, and your body can actually become too resistant to you being too clean all the time. It's like anything, the body does adapt extremely well. That's how bodies work, they adapt on every level. And grow as a response to that. But we need to be able to rotate everything. The more we rotate, the more we mix up the body, and the more the body actually responds. So when people go on these crazy diets or whatnot, and then they go off it, their body actually deflames or de-stresses. Well, both. De-stresses and deflames a lot. So they actually lose a hell of a lot. And they go, whoa, what the hell's going on there? Won't be a lot of fat at all. It's just fluid, because you're retaining so much fluid. Now, if you weren't inflaming in the body, this is a keynote, people don't know this, if you weren't inflaming in the body, your body would start eating yourself. And you can. There are certain things that can happen. Some people don't inflame, so they can be like anorexia problems, and they've developed problems with, so they're metabolically deranged in some way, syndrome X, whatever it is, and the body just can't just flush and detox, so or it just does it too much, and they can't inflame, so their cells are just, anyway. We'll keep going off track a bit. So if that makes sense, the first meal, the second meal, you leave out carbs, sugars, and the third meal, you have like the first. So you keep alternating. There's nothing wrong with that. It's great. But the more fats you put in, you actually uptake minerals a hell of a lot better. Brain's focused. The cells of the body can communicate better. You can detox a hell of a lot better. Your electrolyte balance within the body, in the bloodstream, just is so much better. Every organ needs fats to saturate it, to keep it healthy and all that stuff. And everything just fires and works better. It's a lubricant of the whole body. So when you don't put in fats, your body has no reason to actually burn fat. And if you then try and go to a stack of, I know people that go into a stack of, they'll do a stack of cardio and a stack of weights, and they will have no fats, right? And when they do this, yes, they can actually burn off some body fat, but they find that everything else they eat they can actually inflame at a rate that then they're going, what the hell's going on? And then they'll lose some body fat, and then they'll inflame, lose some body fat, and then they'll inflame. Because if the liver as well cannot recognise that there is any fats actually coming into the body, the intestinal tract is actually it's going to send a signal to the intestinal tract. The intestinal tract is actually going to then say, right, there's no fats coming in. I have no reason to burn fats. The whole of my organs, first and foremost in my brain, need fats. So every food I eat, the intestines are actually going to pull on it and create fats out of it. So not good. So you'll stay inflamed for long, and because the intestinal tract is so big, this is why people get inflamed so much, and there's so much fat that holds around there. That's just one aspect. So always make sure you mix everything up. That's key. The more the better. But then listen to your body and listen to what it says. If it doesn't like walnut oil, don't have it. If you feel a bit sick, coconut, whatever. If it's olive oil, that's another thing. So you got to listen to yourself. Oils really should, I find, having them concentrated, some people do, not good. You really need to put them over your dressings always, your oils, and it's going to go a hell of a lot better because oils work extremely well wrapping around all the foods and help to uptake the nutrients a hell of a lot better. So I don't tend to have a lot of the fish oils because of mercury. It's really hard to find ones that don't have it so much, so that's important. Even though there might be EPA approved and all this and that, they've got it taken out. You don't know where it's being sourced from. Companies are full of a lot of blah these days, full of all shit. Okay, so, and we'll false advertise. So, wild salmon. So that's usually one way to go. Now it says odorless on there. Problem is, this is what people don't realise, anything that's odorless or light or low fat has all the good taken out. So that's important things to remember. A lot of things that are actually beneficial in there have actually been stripped out. So not good. So it's like garlic. You can get garlic that's odorless. What the hell would you want to do that for? All the good stuff's been taken out. Doesn't make sense. So flaxseed. Now you're getting a lot of your 3, 6 and your 9 in there, which is fantastic. So the brain is, and the body, I should say as a whole instead of just simplifying certain things, as a whole, we are from the sea and from the land. Physiologically, that's how we work. That's what we're created from. So knowing that, we need to have some fats, especially omega-3s that are from the sea, and we need to have land-based omega-3, 6s and 9s to fuel the brain and fuel the body and let it grow and heal and all that stuff. So covering all that is essential. Now, with olive oil, a lot of people don't know this. What you want to do, it needs to be not light. It needs to be extra virgin olive oil. Now, depending on where it's being sourced from, that's a key thing. But the best way to know you've got a good one with olive oil is you actually take a teaspoon, put it in your mouth, and if it tastes like butter, then it's actually good quality. And then if you take it to the back of your mouth and you swallow it, and it tastes like pepper, then it's got really high polyphenols. So polyphenols, antioxidants, really rich nutrients in there, which your body needs. Key things people don't even know. So that's the difference between like a light and one that's an extra virgin olive oil. So extra virgin, better. I'll get to that in a minute. But the other thing is that, so you need to realise that if everyone's different. So this depends on if you've got maybe a hypothyroidism, overactive metabolism, depending on your age, your gender, how much body fat you're holding at the moment, how much muscle mass you have. When you have more muscle mass, so anabolic tissue, you can make your nutrition around that extremely good, and you can get lean much quicker the more muscle mass you have, because then again everything you eat gets burned up quicker and you can then function everything around that. So you can get your muscle mass to a certain size, just maintain that, stimulate it, even train just twice a week, and sometimes that's what I just do. And because my nutrition's so good, I can just stay lean, and I don't train for maybe sometimes 4 days. That's what I'm doing a little bit at the moment, and everything's just going really, really well. So there's a science to it. Now, when you're hooked on a lot of cravings of everything, which is anything that is not roaming on the ground or that grows out of the ground and is on a tree, it's not natural. So it causes more harm than good. Now, a lot of the times what I will do with some people with the in-between meals, depending on how insane they want to get and how healthy they want to be, which is fine, so I'll give them superfoods, so different types. So, things like, okay, so you've got your alfalfa grass, things like that. You've got your kale, so things like that. And then you've even got, if you want to go really extreme, so you've got the mixture. So this one's got spirulina, chlorella, and barley grass. Okay, so things like that. So chlorella is extremely good for helping to alkaline the body. And that's another note, is that anything that goes into the body creates acid. As soon as it goes in, has to. Stomach has to produce the acid to break everything down. Intestines are actually going to neutralize the acid, and then everything gets absorbed through the intestinal tracts. Liver helps us synchronize it up and take it and pull it and blah blah. But what happens is, if you're putting things in that are too, when you put good stuff in, and because the acid from the gut, the intestines will neutralize that, and then it'll pull it and go into the bloodstream, because bloodstream is a different type of acid as well. But you need that to stay very alkaline too. So that's where vitamins and minerals and the electrolytes, all that balance. So everything you eat that's really good, alkaline. So you got two different types of alkalining things. So in like your organs, you could say, and then your bloodstream. But as soon as we start putting in anything that is not natural or is too much of a stimulant, man-made, like it's acidic, goes into the body, right, and then it'll go into the bloodstream. Now the bloodstream is acidic, means everything else is just going to get strained in the kidneys more. Everything's going to get backed up and blocked up. The body is just going to have no reason to flush anything or use anything else as a fuel. It's going to flush it all out. Your body does not absorb nutrients and take them around the body very well. So many people are relying in life on stimulants, stims, and they just keep wearing out the adrenal glands. Now, the adrenal glands always need to be functioning because they crosstalk with your thyroid and your pancreas, because they are all your energy systems, your breaking down of everything, and nutrient absorbing and taking it to where it needs. And it's extremely important. So the other big thing, what's the other one I was going to talk about? Okay, so with alkalining, people use greens. Your vegetables are extremely good for alkalining the body. Things like lemon. Some people are acidic or a bit allergic to maybe a lemon, so you got to always test those things. This is why everything needs to be tested and trialed to see how you go with it. The other thing is the alkalining salts, so you can use that. Only problem is they have a lot of bicarbonate in there, so magnesium, calcium, potassium, things like that. So too much of that can strain your kidneys a lot, so not good, because the hydrogen, the bicarbonate can increase that, so it's not good. So that needs to be rotated as well. Now, with the body's ability when it produces too much acid, now you can have, if you say go into ketosis, things like that, not good. You can build up too much, like you get the burps, or you can get too much of a stomach rumbling. It's too much acid in the body. The body will create it as a byproduct, because you're actually breaking down proteins and fats, especially if you're not putting in enough fats and proteins, and your body will start to use that as energy to fuel the brain, which is not good. So that's called gluconeogenesis, so you've got to be careful of that. And then you've got hypoglycemia. So things like when you go to bed, making sure your liver has some food in there so you can sleep deeply. That's important, sleeping deep. So making sure on that note that you actually have something before bed. You just got to try and error all that and make sure that is going really well. What else do I really want to discuss? I think that's roughly the main thing. But yeah, good luck with that. I hope that made some sense. If you get lost, you get stuck, send me other things like people do. Just send a message, and I will do a video and try and simplify it. But go over things, stop it, replay it, take it to a part, write it down, even go and look it up a little bit. Someone else might have explained it more deeply, things like that. So yeah, because your ultimate health in the end is key to your survival and doing it right. But I can guarantee you, the more proteins and fats you put into your body, at least 3 times a day, and even more fats, maybe 4 or 5 meals a day. And I tend to say, for example, you would have put in at least every meal 10 capsules of that, and mix it up with that and some olive oil, fish oil, things like that. The more you put in, your whole body is just going to absorb, recover, heal, focus. Everything around it is going to work better. It's like what happens is the electrolyte and vitamins and minerals are like the last line of your defense in your body. So is fat. on the food chain. So if you've got nothing else in the body, energy-wise, your body's going to use the electrolytes and vitamins and minerals that are stored in you to use that as energy. So important things to know, I'm not going